Academy, Professor Suri, for calling me here. Ever since I moved to Bangalore, I have I lived here for 9 years outside of Bangalore, near Kanakpura Road, and probably the best part of my life. Very, very beautiful place. I mean, not the city. Uh, you know, if you move 15 kilometers away from Bangalore, it's the nicest part in India, and so absolutely wonderful. We lived out there, and so thank you so much for calling me here. First talk after many years in Bangalore. Um, so, of course, it's a pleasure to sit amongst so many young people. So see a lot of women here. I mean, seems like they almost outnumber the men here, which is great. Great to see so many young women sitting here. This is great. I don't know what you guys did. Maybe you should tell us. Thank you for calling. So what we'll do here today is to share with you some of the experiences that we have had over the last. I have been doing this for last 7-8 years, and in the last 3 years, that the bio you picked up on the internet was a little dated, 3 years old. Uh, so, how many of you know what is khichdi? Okay, good. So, we are doing science here, and so what we will do is do this, experiment, a 3-day experiment today, right? Starting from tomorrow morning. Your food, or whatever you want to call meal, will be khichdi. By the way, I have this tendency of getting into Hindi. Sometimes when I have to speak my heart, I start speaking in my mother tongue. It's almost like that, right? I mean, imagine if you have to किसी को गाली देनी है तो इंग्लिश में मजा नहीं आएगा. Not that I would do that here, but if I do that, please raise your hands. I can assume a lot of people might not understand Hindi, so I'll try to translate. What we will do is we will have this experiment for 3 days. Your breakfast will be khichdi, and let me define khichdi, because we are doing science, so we should have exact definition, right? What is altruism? We will very clearly define. One guy becomes fat, the other becomes thinner. Actually, I wanted to say that a lot of times in altruism, both people become fat, which might also be a interesting case. Nonetheless, so khichdi is boiled rice and lentils, tur dal and rice boiled, no salt, no turmeric, nothing on the top or the side. No butter, nothing, right? So boiled rice and boiled dal. So that's your breakfast in the morning. Lunch is going to be same thing. Okay, dinner, what is dinner? Khichdi. Next day morning, second day breakfast, khichdi. Lunch is khichdi. Dinner, so now you should feel what is going on. 6 meals already, 2 days, khichdi. Third day, khichdi. Breakfast in the morning is khichdi. How about snacks? Tea? No, nothing. Only 3 meals. Lunch is khichdi. Dinner is khichdi. Imagine 4th day in the morning. Even if you see the sight of khichdi, what happens to you? You don't want to. It's right there. You almost feel like throwing whatever is inside out. And the reason I'm telling you this story is because I feel sometimes this is what sometimes we are doing to our students in our classes. We are feeding them khichdi and nothing else on the side. And if I count the number of hours in school, it is 19,200 hours of khichdi. 8 hours a day, 200 days in a row, and 12 years in a row, right? And I'm not adding this Pace Academy and Base Academy and all that other stuff that is added. But imagine if we do. So it's not that, and the reason I'm telling you this story is because what we do in our lab is to create, along with this khichdi of the curriculum, we create these side dishes, bhaji, pakoda, masala, chutney, bhaji, whatever else that makes this khichdi more interesting. Lot of ghee, lot of interesting stuff. Of course, you need carbohydrate of the curriculum, but it is also important to get these micronutrients, whatever they are. And that's what the idea is, to bring content which can really engage and inspire. And that's what we have been doing over the last, and I'm very happy to say that now, in this lab that we have in IIT Gandhinagar, we have created about 450 odd, unique things, which we hope can bring back the gleam in the eyes, as we say. Imagine going to school is not really exciting. I mean, Sundays is the best day of our week. It doesn't have to be like that. Imagine if our children started feeling that, oh, Sunday is bad because I can't go to school. Normally Sundays is best for teachers and children because teacher को बच्चों से मुक्ति है, बच्चों को टीचरों से मुक्ति. So it's a win-win situation for everybody. So I thought I'll give you this brief story to convey what we do in our lab. In fact, I feel I have the best job in the world. You keep playing the whole day. In fact, the picture that you see right there is a picture from yesterday night. We made a 25 feet geodesic, probably one of the largest in India that I know of. 722 bamboo sticks. Didn't cost a lot, but it took us 2 man days of work and our 6th iteration. We failed 15 times before we came up with the right math to make a ball which is 25 feet is fairly high. I mean, it probably, if you stick it here, it will tear the roof and go maybe a little bit more than this. And so we made this on our own. All of us, we are 15 of us in the lab. In this lab, we call the Center for Creative Learning. And there are 10 interns, and we're looking for people to come and help us. Interesting thing is we are self-sustainable. In other words, other than I am a faculty at IIT Gandhinagar, so other than my salary, everybody else we support on our own. IIT just gives us space and of course a lot of infrastructural support. But in terms of material, this, that, whatever, I feel very happy to say that we, whatever work that we do, for the teachers, the workshops that we conduct, we sort of try to make sure that we don't have to look after, for grants or things like that. Anyway, so that sort of gives you an idea, and I'm going to share with you a couple of things as to why I feel some of those things are required. I used to do chip design when I was in Bangalore. Right here, I say here, near Koramangala, there is now RMZ Infinity is a big office complex where I used to work, and we used to do chip design. Something very interesting happened. I used to do chip design in the US, spent about 10 years in Silicon Valley, and chip design software, not really chip design. And then I came back and wanted to come back to India, took a transfer and was working in Synopsys at that time. Started their division here in Bangalore. Something very interesting happened in 2009. I don't know how many of you know this thing called the PISA test. Anybody heard of this? Okay, around that time, 2009, India decided, so PISA is a tri-yearly test that is conducted by OECD, which is an organization for a lot of rich countries. They are all part of it, and every 3 years they conduct this test where the idea is to see what is the state of our education. How is it that you're spending 19,200 hours in school? How is it really helping you in your lives? Is it helping you lead a better life, or would you be okay without it? And it turns out, 2009 we took the test. India agreed, and we said only Himachal Pradesh and Tamil Nadu will take the test because we thought they were the most literate states. So Government of India decided these two, and every school took part: public school, private, DPS, NPS. I don't know if there are NPSs there, but you get the idea, right? Municipal schools. And when the results came out in 2012, we were 73 out of 74 countries. From the bottom. And I mean, it sounds funny, but it really was not. This was front page news in 2012 when the results came out. They were not asking definitions. They were saying, and the study further said, and by the way, 73 in science, math, and language. And what they said was, in one of those cases, Himachal was 73, Tamil Nadu was 74. We wanted to be different. They clubbed 2 states of India as 2 separate entities. What they also said was 90% of the children of our country, this was that time, right, 2012, they did not get almost anything, 90%, in the time they spent in school. In other words, not very much interesting thing was, I mean, they didn't get anything that would help them in their future life. This is what OECD concluded. There is also lots of report. I'm just going to give you this, not a lot of bad news, but there is a lot of survey that says a lot of kids in India drop out of school. after class 10, like 60%, 70%. Kids drop out. And you ask them, why are you dropping out? It's not because, there is poverty and, parents are forcing them to work or this or that. School जाने में बहुत कंटाल आता है. It's extremely boring to go to school. Extremely boring. And it doesn't have to be like that. And that is what was, that single piece of report in 2012 led me to call Arvind Gupta, who lives in Pune. He, of course, it's finally very good to meet Professor Mukunda here. We've heard a lot of his stories from Arvindji. So I decided to leave my job in 2012, and this is something that I like. And I thought, it's interesting. Let's see what happens. So we moved. PISA is the result why I had to leave Bangalore. So I moved to Pune and then spent 3 years as a बेरोजगार को इंग्लिश में क्या बोलेंगे, unemployed intern at Arvind Gupta at the age of 38, 39, and then spent 3 years and then decided to move to IIT Gandhinagar when we decided to sort of wrap that project up. So the idea is to see if we can really visit. So just to conduct this very simple experiment. So now that we are all here, what I would like you to all take part in this, just to give you a sense of what this PISA test is about, right? So, and everybody has to take part. Hindi में थोड़ा मजा आता है करने में, but I'll do it in English anyways. Everybody assume has 100 rupees. So all of us here are going to take part. सबके पास 100 रुपए हैं. ये हिंदी समझ आ रही है इतनी 100 रुपए? Okay, maybe not. I didn't see a very loud yes. Everybody has. I sort of get in the flow when I speak in Hindi. So, anyway, so everybody has 100 rupees, and you have to buy iron. To go buy iron. There are 2 shops selling iron. One sells 100 rupees a kg, the other sells 100 rupees a liter. Everybody has to buy iron. How many of you will buy 100 rupees a kg? Please raise your hands. Yeah, just raise your hand. So there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. Maybe there is, but so please raise your hand. I see half the crowd is buying 100 rupees a kg, the other half is buying 100 rupees a liter. How about you? How about you? No, one next to you. You have to buy. There is no choice. Okay, everybody has to buy iron, and everybody is buying iron either from this shop, which is 100 rupees a kg, or that other shop, which is 100 rupees a liter. A liter of iron, yes, absolutely. Are you buying iron by the liter or by the kg? No. Very quickly, not much time. So I see a lot of us decided to buy iron by the kg because we said, well, iron it's a solid, so it must be by the kg. Although we have read in class 9, class 5, when we did mensuration, that any block of cuboid 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter by 10 centimeter, by the way, is 1 liter. Is 1000 cc, which is 1 liter. And so, I mean, do you mind if you come here on the stage? We always think that solids, what's your name? Arushi. No, you won't be, don't worry. If you feel embarrassed, you're free to walk down. Arushi is here. Do you think Arushi is solid or liquid? Right here. She seems pretty solid to me. What do you think? She is solid or liquid? Solid है? तो ये किलो में है कि लीटर में है? किलो में है? लीटर में? लीटर में नहीं है? अंदर बाहर नहीं पूरी. The whole thing. The whole Arushi, is she kg or liter? Kg, not liter? Not liter? Yes or no? Both. Some people are saying both. How about can we measure her in liters? Yeah. Yes. So anything that takes space, whether it is solid or liquid, so we have this confusion whether, if it's a solid object, can we get it in liters or whatever. Now, she's right here, solid, and we have to measure her in liters. How many liters is she? Please take a guess. बताइए, जल्दी. 50 liters? So maybe, no, what do you think?
Something.
Anybody here? Please take a guess. 5 liters? 56? Okay, anybody else? 100? No? 30 liters? 55? 45? Udhar? Everybody? No? 20? Alright, 20 liters. Here? 55? Okay. 58, 55, 50, whatever. That's a lot of liters. 100? Anybody 100? 5? No? Okay. So what do we do? How do we find out?
Imma sir.
Kya kare? Put her in a bucket of water. Somebody said that you want to go in a cold water right now. We can arrange it for you. Not right now. She doesn't want to go in a bucket full of water. So we think that what we want to do is somebody called the Archimedes principle, which is you dip something in water and water falls out. That is not Archimedes principle. Everybody knows that if it's a bucket full of water, you drop something, water goes out. What Archimedes said was that it reduces its weight. That is what Archimedes. Anyway, so if we drop her in water, she doesn't want to go. What should we do? I'll cut this story short. Can you put your hands right here? Okay, good. I'll wrap her hands in, with a rope and legs in rope and drop her in also. What do you think happens? Of course, her parents come after me. But other than that, what do you have? It's a thought experiment. Her body goes down, Arushi goes down, and Arushi's body goes down, Arushi goes up. Right? The reason Arushi's bodies go down, Arushi's body goes down, is because her density is higher than that of water. Marginally higher, very, very marginally higher. So I'm assuming if she's, how much should I say? How many kgs? 57. So let's assume a round number 55. If she's 55 kgs, and we have mugged up this definition of density in class, whichever. Right? Mass by volume. Right? So if she is 55 kgs, her volume must be less than 55 or more. So it can either be less or more. We just concluded that the density is more than 1. So the volume must be little, very slightly less than 1 for her to be more than 1, in which case she will round. So now we know she is exactly 54.9 liters. We did not have to do any experiments. We did not have to put her in water. And that also tells us that if I buy 1 liter of iron, I would get 8 kgs, or almost 8 kgs, 7.8 kgs. And a lot of us ended up buying 1 kg because we were just mugging up the definition. The definition of density didn't go inside. Similarly, imagine if we had to buy oil, what would we do? 1 liter of oil or 1 kg of oil? So same thing, right? When we buy oil, we buy by the liter, and when we buy iron, we buy by the kg. In both cases, we end up buying less. Because if we buy oil, if we buy by the kg, we get more oil. The density is less than water, it floats. And that's the definition of density, mass by volume. So 1 liter is at the bottom. It must be less than 1 kg. So 1 liter of iron is less than 1 kg. You see that, right? 960 grams. That's what I'm trying to communicate. What we are saying is that essentially there is a lot of focus on mugging up the definitions, but does that definition make a feel for us? Imagine now, how do you buy a liter of iron? Go to the shop and he'll say, pagal ho gaya. Essentially what you're doing is, imagine a bucket full of water, empty plastic bottle. You add a lot of nails and bolts and nuts and bolts, right? You will feel that it is heavier than, just do this thought experiment. You will almost realize that bottle full of 1 liter of nails it won't be 1 liter because a lot of air inside. But then it will be much heavier than a liter of water. That sort of conveys this power of volume that, what we're saying. So 1 liter of iron, nobody is going to sell you at the same price as the kg. They're smarter. But the idea is that. And this was not the question that was asked in PISA test, but that's the idea. Do we really understand what is going on? Can this stuff be exciting and engaging? And that's what we are trying to do. In the lab, we are trying to create things which can go to schools and colleges. So we do a lot of these workshops with students, teachers, engineering college professors, teachers, to see whatever we do in the classes, like the previous speaker was saying, can it be engaging and exciting? कुछ ऐसा कर सकते हैं ताकि याद रहे. Of course, the curriculum is important. It is important to learn all the stuff that goes on, but the stories have to be interesting. The context has to be clear. And lots of stories are very inspiring. Unfortunately, बहुत सारी जो सबसे मजेदार चीज, the best things sometimes are out of the curriculum. Thanks, Arushi. Thank you so much. We know now your volume. So, just to give you a small idea, I read this story when I was 40, and this is something that really inspired me, or fascinated me ever, and convinced me something was missing. So I don't know if I'm seeing these parallel lines here because this is a wooden floor. Anytime you see these parallel lines, I used to think, have you heard of this number pi? Yeah, most of you have. it sort of, to me, the feeling was that it exists in a circle. Anything to do with a circle, area, circumference, cone, sphere, all of that. I read this story about this man who said, he drew parallel lines on the floor. The size of the parallel lines, the difference between the parallel lines was about, let's say, a matchstick. And lots of them. And then he started dropping these sticks randomly from the, top. He dropped lots of them. And he counted the number of sticks so when they fall, sometimes they will touch the line if they fall straight, or otherwise if they turn, they will not. Right? So imagine this experiment is done randomly, and you count the number of sticks which touch and which don't, that ratio magically is pi. Now there is no circle here. Now what was intriguing for me at that age was, how did nature decide? I'm just drawing lines and I'm just drawing things, dropping things. How did nature decide that for every one stick, 3.14 must be, touching versus not touching? That is very, very fascinating. Where did that number come from? And of course, there is a, reason behind it. This experiment was done about 200 years ago by this man called Buffon, French. Buffon's needle experiment. You can go check it out on Wikipedia. But when I read that story, it was very powerful for me to think about the magic that comes with it. It's not as boring as we make it seem. I'll tell you one more story, but before that, I'm going to do this very small experiment with you. So I have this. Have you seen this experiment before? No. Okay. So I have this small straw and I have cut it in two parts. And I'm going to do this. I'm just looking for a good scissor. Here. And what I've done is I have made two triangular cuts on this straw, and that's it. Now I'm going to press this a little bit, put it in my mouth and blow. I'm going to do the same thing here with this one. क्या होगा इसमें आवाज आएगी? Yeah? No? Right? So imagine घर में सबके घरों में ऐसा होता है, जब माँ बाप लड़ते हैं तो कुछ ऐसी आवाज आती है. This is the dad. And you know who this is. Now the reason your mom sounds like your mom is because this is small. The wavelength is very small compared to this. And so the pitch must be higher. And when you draw this, I read this in grade 11 when I was doing, writing the JE. This is open-ended oboe and you have a lambda by 4, that's the dominant node. And we do all of that. But we never make a sound in the class. I like that indisciplined science. Imagine all the people who are sitting here and they're writing on the board, it just takes this straw to, make a ruckus in the class. But it is very interesting, And what I can also do is to just see the graphic part of it. So this is your dad. This scissor was not alright, but and so slowly the sound of the dad got converted to sound of the mom, and sometimes we are so excited by the experiment that we have no idea, and and that sound will not be coming from the straw. It will be really high pitch, so you have to be careful. What you could also then do is keep two of these in your mouth and then blow together. Now, the first time I did this as an accident in Pune, I realized this is how I used to always wonder कि train की आवाज आती कैसे? वो लोग 3 horn बजाते. They blow 3 frequencies very close by, 3 or 5 as the horn. You've seen sometimes these horns which have 3, and so essentially what is happening is they are blowing 3 frequencies very close by, and that gives you a beautiful sound. Now imagine, I used to really hate my physics, labs especially because the experiment that you're doing, I already know everything. एक कील रखो यहाँ पे देखो और उधर कील लगा दो और लाइन जोड़ दो, ऐसे करते थे. At least that's what I remember. But this is 30 years ago, right? You keep a prism, still the same thing. I think we should change. I don't know how. I don't have the power. But imagine एक prism रखा हुआ है और एक कील लगाते हैं, यहाँ से देखते हैं, फिर उधर देखते हैं, वही कील लगाते रहते हैं और सबको पता है, और लाइन जोड़ देते हैं, तो लगाने की जरूरत नहीं, वैसे ही जुड़ जाती है वो लाइन. सो but it is not. Sometimes I feel sad because it is soul sucking. मतलब मजा नहीं आता है, वो टाइम वेस्ट हो गया हमारा. इससे अच्छा तो बाहर खेल सकते थे, right? But at the same time, there are very interesting things that you can do. Imagine you have 7 straws, and this is the first year physics. Physics 101 BSc first year. Figure out how much should I cut to get Sir from Ray. I mean the other way, Ray from Sir, and then do Ray from G. And then see if it is increasing linearly or what's the ratio. Is it linearly proportional or inversely proportional, or it doesn't matter? If I cut 1 centimeter here, do I cut 1 centimeter more to make ray to G, or so on and so forth? Very interesting. And imagine one packet of straw, 100 straws, and we have this beautiful band that can come out, a scientific band. 7 people, 7 straws, and we play this circum together. Absolutely wonderful experiment. We've done this in the. I'll show you one more thing that a lot of times these activities are very simple, but they are magical in my opinion, and can be done at any level. So what I have done here, by the way, I forgot. You can actually make in the same flute. I mean same straw. If you cut 2 holes and blow, you get a flute. So you need 6 holes to make a 7-note flute, because you've divided your length in 7 parts, and which is why you need 6 holes. So what I have here, so my son interestingly go to school. He used to study in Bangalore, but when he moved to Pune, he decided to not go to school, which was also interesting. And so he went to, there's this school called Valley School here outside of Bangalore. Very nice school. I liked it because they have 100 acres and you can, almost not go to any class if you want. Simple piece of rubber, 2 straws, and then I put this in water and I blow. Okay, and now I'll dip it the other way and blow. And I do like this. And this one. So somehow the straw knows which side to become a spray and which side to become a flute. And then what you can do, an interesting thing is you do this with students and young children, and you do this, and everybody's like, meri taraf karo, meri taraf. You do this with adults, and the first thing they do is mobile andar karte hain. And what you can do now is put this like this and then spin. So this works 3 different ways. We call it the 3-in-1 toy. And there are 3 wonderful principles going behind. And we don't have to talk about it. Imagine a grade 3 child when it comes to school and does this sprinkler. By the time the child is in class 7, maybe centrifugal forces will start to make sense. And we don't have to teach that. Imagine in first year physics we can talk, what should be the angle where the water goes out the farthest, and it is not 45 degrees, by the way. You take this, everybody makes this toy at different angles, and let's spin it. I have done it 15 feet. 15 feet दूर तक पानी जाता है. But what should be the angle at which, by the way, the same thing, right? When we do, I still remember when we do this projectile, right? And you say, let's differentiate it and get, equate it to 0, and we get magically sine 2 theta is 0, so theta must be 45. And so that's the angle at which, if we fire the gun, the gola will go the farthest. It is actually 51 degrees. The largest gun that was made at that time, maybe it's still the longest, had a 37-meter muzzle. It was called the Big Bertha. World War I. Germany had made it. They wanted to fire all the way to Paris, and we told them, we have done SL Loni, so it must be right. So 45 पे रख के मार दो. उन्होंने मारा तो नहीं गया. Because what we did, we forgot was there is something called Coriolis force, or more importantly, there is drag, this, that, or whatever. So somebody, experiential enough said, increase the angle. So they actually fired it at 51 degrees, and it went about 60 miles more, something like that. I don't remember that number. तो 45 में नहीं जाता है, because practical things, there is air, there is drag. The higher you The higher you go, of course, you shoot it at 90, come back and drop on you. But you make it a little higher, it goes in the rarer atmosphere, and so the drag is less, and so that's why it goes down farther. But an interesting experiment. Well, you can start modeling. Has anybody heard of this guy called Manu Prakash? Some of you. So he does some. I mean, I'm sure others do. He does some very interesting stuff. He will look at the intricate physics behind very small toys, very small things. Right? He did this Foldscope. I actually met him last year. Just bumped into him, which is very chancy, and given that it's an interesting story, but for some other time. So imagine you do this and you start modeling each droplet of water that is rising in. What kind of forces is it experiencing, this droplet, when it comes out? In fact, when it comes out, if you see, it seems like it is going in a spiral. Right? What do you think? ऐसे लगता है, देखने में ऐसे लगता है.
Tangent.
If you want to try that experiment, go on top of a building, spin around, go down, and see how if you come back or not. The moment you are out in the air, the only force that is acting is downward, and so you just go down. It's just that there are lots of these droplets coming out at different times, and it seems that they are going in a spiral. Of course, once it comes out, in whichever direction it comes out, it will just take a parabolic path and go down in that direction. So it's these days with iPhone or whatever, these HD slow cameras, you can actually very nicely create these activities. So I'll quickly do this and then call you. Here. So can I have one volunteer? And I should also take a look at the time. I keep overshooting otherwise. So just let me know 10 minutes before and I'll start winding up. Can I have one? Yeah, please come quickly. And a boy. We are going to find out. Jaldi se. We are going to find out. ऊपर. नाम भी बता दो. Gagana? Shayan. Yeah, Shayan. So we are going to find out the lung capacity of Gagana and Shayan. So who do you think has larger lung capacity? Gagana? How many people vote for her? Or root for her? Okay, almost the whole house. How many for Shayan? You need to do something more. Your popularity is decreasing. So what we will do is, who will go first? You go first? You go first? You decide. Okay. So you go first? Okay, come here. You go first. Then what you have to do is take a deep breath in as much as you can, and then alright? Not from outside. Only everything that is inside goes inside. Goes inside the whatever. And you can hold it right here. And then before he does that, how much do you think is his lung capacity? Jaldi uttar do, fatafat. 1 kg? No? But it can be. Theoretically, it is possible. We just said that any material can be measured as a kg or as a liter. So whichever way you want to define it. How much? Quickly. 1.5 liters. Anybody else? 2.5 liters. 5 liters. 1 liter. 10. No 10. Half liter. 1.5 wala. Half liter. All the interesting answers are coming from here. Okay, we'll go. Start. So you see what tests do to human beings. You can see it right here. We are just trying to measure poor guy's lung capacity, and it's just some competition that is happening. कि हाँ सांस भी नहीं निकल रही. Okay. All right. So that is your air trapped inside, and I'm going to push it all the way. So this is Shayan. Shayan's air. How much is this? How much is this? How do we measure it? क्या करें? पाई आर स्क्वायर है, ये सब कर दें. और क्या कुछ कर सकते हैं? वॉल्यूम निकलेगा, लीटर. आपको नहीं है. So क्या कर सकते हैं? और imagine I have a liter of bottle. Bottle. The diameter is almost the same. water bottle. So this is maybe 1, 2, 2.5, 2.5. What gas is this inside? Most amount of gas? Carbon dioxide. Okay, very good. Most amount of gas? Carbon dioxide. Please remember. And we'll check. Now your turn. So 2.5. That's the target to meet. Okay, single try. She didn't even try too hard. We'll see. Maybe she is gonna win. This is. I think something. I think the experiment is faulty. If this is the amount of air she can hold inside the lung, something is not right. But anyways, one, 2, 3, 4, almost 4 liters. All right. Now I do yoga every day. By the way, yeah. So this gas that is inside, the most amount of gas here is actually not carbon dioxide. It's nitrogen, right? Because we do not breathe in nitrogen. I mean, we breathe in nitrogen, but we spit it out without using it. I wish we could use nitrogen inside. We wouldn't have to invent urea. By the way, you know the story of urea, right? Because there was a lot of conservation things, whatever. With this story, I'm not going to tell no story. I have lots of these stories which I think should be part of the curriculum. Stories are the most important thing. In fact, I like that curriculum. If you read about ammonia or nitrogen, you should know about Fritz Haber. Fritz Haber, anybody has heard of that guy? Nobel Prize, of course, won the Nobel Prize in 1937, invented this thing called the Haber's process, which made ammonia, which led to urea, because of which half of the people in this room are alive, some people claim. Otherwise, the earth won't be producing so much food for half of us to be living here. Half, 80% of fishes, or somewhere around that number, have also died because of urea runoff. See, because it's so cheap, we just throw it, runs off in the, and it leads to eutrophication. The green thing comes out, the fishes die, oxygen is gone. This guy also worked on inventing the nerve gas, which was responsible for killing 6 million Jews. He was a Jew himself. He wanted to prove that he's more patriotic than whatever. So he had a lot of arguments with Einstein, by the way. Right? They are recorded. If you get a chance, please do read them. Einstein, of course, denounced all of that, moved to US. This guy stayed in Germany. His wife and son committed suicide when they heard or they read about him working on this nerve gas. Right? I recently read a very interesting. This guy called another Nobel Prize winning scientist, surely your joke, Mr. Feynman, and he was part of the Manhattan Project. Very interesting interview that he gave, what was happening, why he joined just out of school and what happened when they made the bomb. But anyways, so Fritz Haber, ammonia. So we don't consume ammonia, so nitrogen. So whatever nitrogen goes in, goes out. So most amount of gas here is nitrogen and then oxygen. It's only 4% carbon dioxide that we breathe out. And so oxygen reduces from 20 to 16 and carbon dioxide increases almost from 0 to 4%. So if you were to take this out, you could still, interesting experiment we could do. And this guy called Fermi used to do it. Imagine this room, we close down the AC, no AC, all the rooms are blocked. We have about 100 people here, maybe a little bit more, maybe 150. Everything is closed, no doors, no windows, no AC. How long before we take our last breath? By the way, around Bangalore is around 1 crore now. 80 lakhs, 1 crore. So maybe around 8,000 barbers, give or take. And you can sort of do the math. And so he used to do that. Now, in an interesting experiment, such an activity would be, we are all sitting here. How many breaths do we take before there is no more oxygen left in this? It's an interesting activity. Don't try doing that. Very difficult to do that experiment. So now I do a lot of yoga. Ramdev, and so I am going to show you my lung capacity. Please, and what I am going to do is, मैं तो थोड़ा आराम से coolly काम कर रहा हूँ. So this is my lung capacity. Of course I cheated, right? I mean, if I have 10 liters of air in my lung, I would be flying. I won't be here. What happened was, something that you see right here. When you blow from your mouth, keeping your hand close to your mouth, it's warm air. But when you blow fast, air suddenly becomes cooler. So suddenly your air becomes cooler. What do you think is going on? Okay, that is one experiment, and then you can try to see, can you devise more experiments to prove that that is not the right reasoning. And essentially what is happening is that when I'm blowing, it is actually my air, which is whatever, 37, 36, 35. When I'm blowing fast, it is not my air, it's the surrounding air, because when I'm blowing fast, the pressure reduces, and so which is exactly what happened here. When I blew fast, it was not my air that is going in. It is the outside air that went in, and that's why I said I cheated. So imagine this activity if we do in the class whenever, and we can take it to whichever level, we can find out the molecular weight of the air, the average molecular weight of the air, and do a lot of these very interesting things. So we call this the Bernoulli band. Right now we are limiting our activity to this, but we can do it more. Hopefully you found your lung capacity. By the way, interestingly, imagine, and I read this fact, sometimes these facts are very interesting. If we open up our lungs, the most important part of our lungs is this alveoli and the surface area through which the diffusion happens, right? That surface area is almost the size of a tennis court. And the length of the alveolus is about 3,000 kilometers, all the way from Kanyakumari. And what happens is, we made this graphic, I can claim that we invented this. We invented this smoking machine, very graphic. All it has is just a simple syringe. This is a valve, one-way valve. So air can go out. This is also a one-way valve, the air can come in. You put one cigarette here, and you light it, and you start smoking. So when you pull in, the smoke comes inside your lung. This is your lung. And you push, this is your mouth, air goes out. Right? And you do this for one cigarette, and we've done this, you can see the video. Very simple thing to make. Absolutely should be done in every school and college. This becomes completely black, just one cigarette. And we measured this in our in the chemistry lab, at least something we used in the chemistry lab. The beginning, this device at the beginning of the experiment and after the experiment, 60 milligrams of the weight got increased, which was the tar. So imagine this tennis court now, you are actually polishing it with black tar. That is exactly what is happening. जहाँ भी tar लंग में गया, वहाँ के through diffusion नहीं होगा. Or molecules cannot go through. That is exactly what is happening. That tar stays inside. And when you see this graphically in front of your eyes, 27 milligrams with the filter. Without the filter, it was 60 milligrams. It is absolutely breathtaking. I mean, we have not used this. This is fresh. But if you actually you do this experiment outside, you can smell for weeks. It will keep smelling. And it's all black inside, just with one cigarette. That is exactly what happens to our lungs. And when we draw that picture in the mind of always a cigarette, it's like painting your tennis court with a black paint. So very soon, after a few years, there is no more green thing to paint on. So tennis court is gone. Sorry to scare you guys, but I think it's required. Thank you. Thank you. I will quickly show you, maybe car kahan gayi? So this is something that we have started making recently. These are called the flat sheet toys. I find them very amazing. This was designed by Manas when he used to play a lot with Lego. He would design machines. In fact, we are the only lab in India to have made an Enigma machine. Anybody has heard of Enigma machine? Enigma machine. Have you seen one? Please come to IIT Gandhinagar. The only lab, the only place in India to have an Enigma machine. We made it on our own. Took us 3 months. 1,500 to 2,000 parts, all handcrafted. I think of course it was an evil machine in the sense that it was used by Germans to largely kill Jews or whatever. But if I take that part out, it's a beautiful machine in the sense of the engineering and math and computer science all buried in one. Electrical engineering, mechanical. Why was the first computer invented? I should know. We know that the computer was invented. The first computer was invented to break the code of this machine because Enigma machine was so complex. I mean, it's very simple. It is absolutely brilliantly simple machine. Reversible machine. You feed in the code, you get the answer. You feed in the answer, you get the code back. But your starting positions have to be same. So we decided to make the machine. I read this book by this guy called Simon Singh. किसी ने सुना है ना? Simon Singh, very interesting mathematician out of England, British guy. बढ़िया किताबें लिखता है. उसकी किताब the code book I read and I decided ये बनाएंगे. So for my 25th reunion at IIT Kanpur, we decided कि कुछ we should show off. So we decided to make that machine. Of course, taking that machine, it's a big machine. Taking that through the airports and lots of wires and rotors, everything coming out. They almost think you're going to blow something up. So you have to stop at all the places. I mean, I was thoroughly checked. I had a letter from the director saying this is educational purpose. There is no battery inside. It's just a bunch of LEDs and 3 rotors, which basically. The brilliant part of the machine is that each time you press a letter, the code changes. Otherwise, it's very easy to break the code. So every letter has a different code, so long as the start condition is the same. So anyways, we decided to make this, the idea is to make these toys. We decided to make these flat sheet toys. We call them flat sheet toys because they are made out of this flat sheet. And I am going to give this as a, I have brought these 2 gifts, one for Professor Mukunda, I know he's coming here, and one for Suri. In the end, I'm going to call you on the stage. And so these are my flat sheets. So we have designed about 150 of them. The idea is this is all designed in India, in the lab, in IIT Gandhinagar, in our lab. So what we do is, including this toy, right? So you pick these parts out, you join them together, and you make this car. And the interesting thing is, when you draw, यहाँ से दिखेगा नहीं, but I'm going to sort of just assume that when you move this car, what you see is I'm going to show you right now. So when this car moves, it draws a sine wave. So essentially what is going on is that the car is moving in a straight line, but the pen moves perpendicular to the car. The question is, why does it draw a sine wave? You could have decided to draw whatever else that it wanted. If I call this is my x direction, this must be y. So any function that I write, y is equal to f of x, whatever, I could decide how much y I want to move my pen and it will draw that curve. It decided to draw a sine wave. The interesting thing is, to prove that this is a sine wave, the only thing that we need to know is the definition of a sine wave, which we learn in class 9 or 10, something like that. The base, हमारे यहाँ हिंदी में बोलते थे लंब बटे कर्ण, perpendicular by hypotenuse. So if we know that, we can sort of see why this will draw a sine wave. And the interesting thing is, if I just change this module and put this module on top, the car remains the same. This guy will now draw a triangular wave, and I'm going to show you this wave will be a triangular wave. Maybe here, so you at least believe that is what exactly happened. You see, this is a triangular wave. There is a difference between, I can put these things side by side. This is a sine wave and this is a triangular wave. Right? So why did this car decide to draw a triangular wave? All that is happening is, this is a simple wheel, एक gear यहाँ लगा है, एक यहाँ लगा है. When this starts to spin, this spins once, this spins once, and this also spins once. The reason this draws a sine wave, triangular wave, is because the amount of pen that moves in the y is equal to the amount of circumference that, whatever. I mean, so in the mathematical language, if I were to say, if I move this, if the wheel spins some angle theta, then this thing also spins theta, and the pen moves r times theta. R is this radius of this gear, and so of course x is r times theta because this is where r is the radius of the wheel. So we can do all of that, but the idea is, can we play around making these cars and draw these wheels and see if we can invent our own mathematical function and see what it does, and you can then say, you can prove that this car will start drawing cardoids and cycloids. You know cycloids, right? And then if you start making them bigger, they become trochoid. I mean, they're all trochoids. And then if you move them around a circle, they become cardoids, depending on what's the frequency of these gears, right? And then something very interesting happens. If the third wheel, and you can try this experiment at home. So imagine you have two coins. And both coins are the same size. One coin, the other coin, and you keep one coin fixed and move the other coin around it. Or if you can think like this, I have these two gears. If I spin both, and you can do this, maybe you can do this here because it's fixed. But if these two number of teeth are same, if I spin this once, this also spins once because number of teeth is same. Now what if I keep this fixed and move this around, which is what I'm doing with the coin. I keep one coin fixed and move this other coin around it once. How many times this coin moves? And it is not once, of course, that's why I'm asking this question. You do this experiment and it's absolutely brilliant to prove to yourself that it will be 2. And then you do the third coin. This is the first coin, this is the second, the third coin, same thing, move around. The third coin should move 0. So the third coin does not move at all. And that is what we employed. We employed a solar model, one of the most accurate solar models, where we wanted to move the Earth so that when it goes around, but the axis actually remains the same. Anytime you join any Earth to any something, in the center, it will turn the axis. What we wanted was the axis of the Earth should remain all the way like that. So that can very easily be done with any 3 gears, where the first and third are the same size. The center gear does not matter. Those are and the same thing that we employed here is now the second gear is actually half the third. So now if you see, this path is actually a straight line, which is very magical. This is a straight line drawer. So this thing spins around, but if I put my pen in there, this pen will draw a straight line. It just goes in the straight line. It spins one and just keeps moving in a straight line. And I keep changing that. People have done some experiments where they've done this exercise and they magically start writing names. You can create machines. It's basically Fourier transform. So let me just do that part. So imagine I have this car and I have another car which is drawing a same module here. And we wanted to do a Fourier. Anybody knows something called Fourier transform here? So maybe, if you do second year of math, you will learn about something called the Fourier transform. Essentially, it is joining of a lot of sinusoids in a very layman term. So if I have one sine wave drawing here, another one here, and I want to add both of them and draw the addition. So what I can do is I can put one stick here, and put my pen right in the middle. So this is pushing the sine, this is pushing another sine, which with a different frequency, I can change the gear. So I will have a sum of 2 sine waves. And imagine if I have a long car which 10 such wheels, then I have a Fourier transform. So I have a Fourier transform car. This machine, by the way, was made by Millikan in 1910. In my knowledge, the only machine which does both Fourier transform and the inverse Fourier transform. It's a mechanical device, but we want to make, and hopefully very soon we should be able to do that. Right now, we have all these 10 devices, but when they hook up, there's some jamming, friction, lots of friction comes into play, so we have to take care of that before that. I'm going to quickly show things on the table, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, whatever, and then we'll be done. We have done a lot of these. I especially like a lot of these. You can see I have not even done any slides, not many. Structures which really excite me, and these are called hinged dissection. This is a triangular prism. I can make this whatever, rhomboid prism. I can open this to make a hexagonal prism. I can fold it to make a trapezoidal prism, and then finally I can fold these three sides here. It almost looks like a UFO, but I can fold this back, and it is a truncated octahedron. Truncated octahedron is basically truncated octahedron. I mean, it's an octahedron ratios, and none of them is integral. These are all irrational numbers. So, really, like this is almost 2-year-old device that we made. This is something called the GeoCube. It looks like a cube. It has 12. You can buy this on the internet for maybe about £100. I will give it to you for £5. In rupees, you can come back, give that money to me. I'm not joking about this. You can buy the GeoCube on the internet for 60, 70 different shapes. The best version that we have made has a lot of magnets, so they snap together, and so it's very easy to play with. This is a little bulky, but this is the only one that was left, and I can keep playing with it. Very soon, it will fold. So you see, now what had become is a rhomboid dodecahedron, basically 12 rhombuses. And if you see inside, it is basically a cube inside. So this is a cube sitting inside. Whatever cube was inside was completely solid is now hollow, which basically means that the volume of this thing must be 2 times the cube. And what has happened is we have just, and 60 different things are possible. So then somebody had already made this, we got inspired by them, recreated this in the lab, and then we designed our own thing, which is a 24, which is not available anywhere else. And that makes about 200 different shapes that you can play around with. And it's all, we've just made two copies. We couldn't bring it here. So imagine this is a cube, and I pull this center part out, and I do for all the things, and you see that is what happens. Cube khali ho gaya andar se. So now this becomes a rhomboid. But if I cut this, basically the way to make that device is 6 pyramids. I chop this in the middle, and so I have 12 of them. If I chop them, 2 times and join it like a circle, then you get the 24 cube which we have made. But the trick is to join them right so as to play around. These things are pretty expensive. These toys are fairly expensive if you make, them. Oh, I'm supposed to. I thought I'll show you this. This is a cute frog. Made out of this flat sheet, a simple motor, 3 gears, a simple battery, and then we have 3-4 more robots or whatever moving machines which can all be assembled using these flat sheets. I thought this might be interesting for you. I don't know how many of you have seen this device, something like this. The fastest way to descend. I thought it was very interesting. When I first read it, I was super fast. If you are here and you have to come here, what is the fastest way to come down? I can either come straight. I can actually go down and come. I can go in a circle. I can go like this. Interestingly, the fastest way to descend is called a cycloid, which is basically path of a point as a circle moves and translates. A lot of these activities are very related to the class, and I'm take a break and then can I have somebody come here and help me? So, and think about it. I'm going to show you one thing related to the cycle. So, have you ever seen? You've seen a cycle. If I push this pedal back, the cycle moves in front.
Hold this video.
Is that clear? And hold this. Okay. You can see the tracks, cycle tracks. These are cycle tracks. We don't know which one is what. We just know that somebody wrote a cycle on this piece of paper, and by looking at this, you have to figure out which way was the rider going, like this or like that. And once you figure that out, yeah, ऐसे. ऐसे. And the interesting thing is, we don't know where he started. You don't know, right? You just look at this piece of paper. You have to figure out where did the rider start and where did it go. By the way, there is a book called Which Way Did the Cycle Go? That's the name of the book. Very, very interesting book. That is, it's based out of Sherlock Holmes' story. In fact, Sherlock Holmes wrote a story about this and actually gave a wrong answer because he did not know math. So then later on, we proved whatever we had to prove. Interesting thing also is, by the way, very interesting activity to actually do this. It will take about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. If I start coloring the area between these, between the two tracks, it's magically pi if we just come back together. No matter what you do, you go and come back, the area between the two tracks is, some measure of pi. So this lots of very interesting activities we can do with the cycle. Why is it? How is a cycle going around related to our days and nights? For instance, just give you a small number. Why do you think we have days and nights? Because the earth goes around the sun? Because the earth spins on the axis? So let's say we ask the earth to not spin on the axis, which means we should not have day and night. If that is the reason, then if you remove the reason, the effect should not happen. We will still have days and nights. In fact, there are 4 reasons why we have days and nights, I think. Of course, it's tilted. And it's tilted. That's the reason we have days and nights. Imagine if it is tilted 19 degrees, which some planets are. You will not have days and nights. If it is tilted 90 degrees, like Uranus, so now you're facing the sun and you keep spinning whatever you want, you will only have days half and the other half will only have nights. So there are other reasons or whatever, but the moving of a cycle has something to do with Earth spinning on its axis and going around the sun, which makes when we talk about solar days, sidereal days, do our days and nights change if the Earth stops spinning or not spinning? You can take it back and fold it nicely. I'll just show you. I call this the 2 cube. I have 2 cubes right here, 1, 1 and 2, and I can hinge dissect to a cube, which means I have cubed the cube. Now the size of this is actually cube root of 2, which supposedly is, so I really like doing this. This is called stack it up. 4 cubes, 4 colors. This game was invented long back. 4 cubes, 4 colors on each cube. Put them, stack them up one on top of the other so that all 4 sides have 4 different colors. It's an interesting game. I'm being sort of very fast right now. So I'll just, you might have seen this before. A small piece of rubber, 2 magnets, a pen with a magnet, ice cream stick, total 3 magnets. This pen spins in the air. It takes about 5 minutes to make. Just a simple piece of rubber, pen, 3 magnets. You can make a levitating pen. There are 2 different versions of hand pumps. These are my hand pumps. They actually draw water. I have drawn water 10 meter long with these simple syringes. I mean, not 10 meter, whatever, 10 feet. Essentially, just this simple syringe. There is a ball sitting right here, so that acts like a ball. Similarly, this one has 2. This acts like a ball. So I keep pulling, and these are my 2 hand pumps. I'm not showing it, given that these are my generators. I just have a simple pipe, and I bound. Oh, I forgot to show you the charkha. One of our most interesting activity. All these flat sheets can be done using that flat sheet. I mean, all these activities can be done using that flat sheet. You pull all these. There is no glue, by the way. All these parts can come out. They are all joined by rubber bands. So this is my chakra. It now spins light instead of electricity. I mean, spins instead of the cloth. It takes about half an hour to make it. All these things. You just wind 600 tons of copper wire, put an LED and 2 magnets inside, and magically spin.